Okay, today's video is going to be the continuation of the selfie stick. I'll try not to pause the video too many times. I'll try to make it a contiguous or continuous shot of the selfie stick. I can't make any promises only due to the fact that the phone stand that I'm using is roughly about a foot off, or less than a foot off the surface of the bench from here to the phone. Okay, so I'm going to be using a piece of PVC that it is roughly 11 inches long. So it doesn't have to be of a certain length. It can be whatever length you want because this is a custom one. It so happens that the PVC item that I'm using is from a leftover project. Okay, so that project had been done maybe about, I'd say, well over a year ago. So I'm not going to make an attempt to upload that video because I honestly don't remember what it was. Okay, so here's the situation. I went down to the hardware store and I picked up these PVC caps. These are end caps or service caps. So whenever a build happens and they don't want contaminants entering the finished product, they cap it off. Most often this cap is not glued to this. It is temporarily put on there and then it's removed whenever the project continues, and they attach the appropriate, let's just say, water lines for a sink or whatever it may be. They'll put the necessary PVC attachments on the end of this, and while removing this, nothing happens in here. Now, if an item is removed, completely removed, then they'll glue this item to this. So for this intended purpose, this is going to be a non-glued item. You don't have to use any PVC glue. This is pressure fit, and it is extremely difficult to take it off once it's on here. Okay, so for dry fitting purposes, that's it right there. You can actually see the line where it might end up once it's placed on here. So this isn't a permanent attachment. Okay, for this purpose, you're going to be needing the cap, a caliper, okay, a set of pliers, locking pliers, preferably this type with the semi-round or oval in it, not these. These are too flat, okay? So I'm going to set this one aside. This one is still good, but it's harder to grip on. I don't know why I purchased these. It was on sale or whatever, so I ended up purchasing this flat type. Okay. So, all in all, you want to remove everything that's on the bench, with the exception of the cap itself and the appropriate attachments that you'll be using later on. So this is the time that I bring out the mighty napkin. Now you're probably wondering, why is there a napkin on my bench? Well, here's why. You never want to drill anything unless you're above intermediate level with drills or tools. You never want to drill with anything in your hand. Trust me. As you can see, my finger's already in the way. See this finger right here? This finger's already in the way. So if by chance, if I drill through here and I'm not paying attention, I'm going to drill through this finger. And it's a good way to go to the hospital. So most often, if you're going to drill, you keep all your fingers out of the way. But I prefer this method. It allows me a whole lot more control, because once the drill bit starts biting into the plastic, this will rotate. And I'll lose control and I'll put this finger back in, or this one back in. So watch this. If you fold the napkin over to roughly the dimension of the item you're trying to hold, you'll wrap it around. All the way around. This napkin is not going to be reusable again as a napkin at all. Okay, so you wrap it like this. Then you take your vice grips and you open it to its farthest opening. Okay, so you grab this and you place it in here like so, and you keep opening the vice grips until it grips it. Okay, you want to grip it, not crush it. There's a difference. You grip it, and then you place it back in your left hand, and this is the safest way to drill anything you need to hold in your hand. Preferably round, but I'll show you in other instances you can do with odd shapes too, like squares or whatever else. The napkin is the reason why. Okay, so I'm going to set this back down. I'm going to grab this item here, and this is a thumb screw, and you'll find that this thumb screw is of dimensions 1/4 by 20. That's the 20 is here, and the length is 3/4. Okay, but the reason why you're going to need a caliper is this. Turn it on, and then you do this. It really doesn't matter if you're measuring, but for recording purposes, this is 5.60. Okay, you see that right there? Or 5.55, whatever. You really, the measurement doesn't matter. You'll lock it off, and then you'll grab one of your drill bits. Now, this isn't being sponsored by the Black and the Yellow company, but that's just what I have. Okay, these are metal. You can use metal, or you could use wood. Now, here's the important part. You've locked this off. So now what you're doing is you're looking for the one drill bit that fits in here in this dimension, right? You'll keep looking for it, and really the actual size doesn't matter, and I'll show you the reason why. Okay, here we are. So it happens that this drill bit is 1/4. Now you'd never want to go with the actual size drill bit. And you're probably wondering why not. Right? So, as stated before, 1/4. We could have just looked at the 1/4 and 1/4. You want to go with the size right below that one. The smallest size right below that one. That's the important one. Okay. Now the reason being is that you want this item to grip the cap. Okay? You want it to grip the cap. The threads are not self-tapping, but if you persuade it enough, they will be. Okay. So you take your caliper and you move it out of the way because it's no longer needed. Okay. Move everything out of the way, and here we go. And once again, this video is not sponsored by the black and the yellow. It just happens that that's the type of toolkit that I have. And I'll show you what I mean. These are the metal drill bits. This is a multi-bit kit, and here are the wood ones. Okay, so I'm going to remove all this off the bench now that I've got the appropriate drill bit size. Okay, so you're going to take your drill bit and you're going to place it into your drill. Okay, I've run into a bit of a situation. I actually brought out the drill, but no battery, so I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about the pause. Okay, I'm going to show you a really cool trick in finding center. On the inside of this cap is a number. At the bottom of that number is center. Now you're probably wondering how I know that. It's because of this. Your caliper. You use the inside diameter. And you measure for center by measuring the largest part of the diameter. Okay, watch this. 2646 should be 13, 2, 3. Okay, 13, 2, 3. 13, 2, 3. All right. It's just a more or less. It doesn't have to be spot on. Okay, then you lock that. And if you check for center with the caliper, it so happens that it's at the bottom of the number that's in there. So it happens that the number that's in there is the number 4. And at the bottom of the stem of the number 4 is center. So I'm going to have to do this off camera. Okay, so I just finished drilling this close to center. Now you're probably wondering how I know it's close to center. Well, the drill bit has a tendency of wandering. And if you look in the center, it is not. But it's pretty close. That's fine. It doesn't have to be exact. There's the one time that doing things not too exactitude is okay. Now, if you want to find exact center, there are tools that'll help you do that. Okay, so close to center is close enough. So this is where a lot of patience is going to play a factor. And you're going to start putting the screw through one side and then the other. Preferably through the outside. That we have one set of threads. Okay, so I've got it going. I'm probably going to need something to persuade it to go all the way through to the other side if I can't grip it with my fingers. Okay, so I've got it right here. Alright, this is where you're going to need a set of needle nose pliers. So I'm looking for some right now, and I see a set just off camera. Okay, but either way. Okay, so I've got a set of needle nose pliers, and I'm going to keep going until it bottoms out on the other side. Now, I already know that this screw is way too long. I can already tell that. So I'm going to go and I'm going to bring this back out, and I'm going to use the appropriate size one. Okay. I can already tell. Okay, so let me see. what size this is. This is 3/4. This is 3/4. Let me look at my toolkit, and I believe I have a smaller one in there. So here we go. Here's the appropriate length one. Once again, I'm going to use my needle nose pliers to bottom it out. Now you're probably wondering why I get different lengths. Well, because sometimes you use different thickness materials. Okay, so this is the appropriate size one. And you go down to the hardware store, get appropriate lengths, and then sometimes you'll find it's a good idea to get the same type of threads at different lengths, but with a flathead or a Phillips head on it. And you'll find out the reason why with different projects there are different requirements. Okay, so here you go. Here's your selfie stick. Now this is going to bottom out, and you'll see this right here. This is the reason why you'll want to use the appropriate one for the appropriate method. Okay, so there you go. Your customized selfie stick. Now, fair warning. I have already run into the scenario that I'm about to describe to you. My cell phone has a holder, and that's the one that I'm using now. If you're going to use it in static mode, and when I mean static or stationary, meaning no movement, I've got nothing against these little cell phone holders, but you'll find that the cell phone holders don't have enough grip to hold onto your cell phone, and your cell phone was never really meant to be an action camera, but some people do try to use it that way, and that's you know, out of preference. I would prefer to use an action camera outside of my house. They can withstand a lot of abuse, and they record at 4K and different frame rates. And if something should happen to my action camera, it's going to be a fraction of a cost of my actual cell phone. And then if I damage my cell phone, well, there you go. There goes all my personal information and my personal data. Okay, so here's your custom selfie stick and its completion. So remember, it's all about whether or not you want to build your own or you want to go out and buy one. I prefer to be able to do both. So that's the video for today, and we'll see you in the next one.